Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your best people are always interviewing. Now, they may not be talking with other companies, but they're always evaluating whether or not to stay engaged, coast, or start looking elsewhere. I'm Helen Fanucci, CEO and founder of Results-Driven Sales Leadership. I help CEOs and sales leaders build high-performing teams and grow revenue. I've developed a step-by-step approach that takes the guesswork out of sales leadership, and it's enabled me to achieve multi-billions dollars of revenue year after year. And today I'd like to share with you a few things that I've learned. Early in my career, one of my sellers quit, and he was a top seller. I thought my job was to tell my team what to do. After all, I had been a top seller, and here I was as a manager, and I thought I was doing a pretty good job. But I was in trouble, actually big trouble. You see, when a top seller quits, the manager still has to deliver the quota. And it took me about 3 months to hire a new seller and another 3 months for that seller to get up to speed. And even so, they didn't have the relationships that that previous seller had. And you know, what if my new seller hadn't worked out? It would have been more than 6 months of quota I was out. If a manager, and including me, is unable to retain top talent, that manager is in jeopardy of losing their job. So now let's get back to the seller who quit. He and I had a pretty good relationship, and I asked him to give it to me straight. Why did you quit? And what he said was, well, I want to grow my career. I want to learn new things. And I didn't think that I could do that working for you. And in fact, 75% of sellers who quit because of their manager. I realized I had no idea really what his ambitions were, and I knew I needed to do something differently. So I asked each of my sellers what they cared about, what their ambitions were. And they told me some wanted a promotion, some wanted more flexibility. One of my sellers, well, he wanted to coach his son's Little League team. And another seller wanted to maximize their income. So I set about figuring out what I could do to help my sellers achieve their goals. I expanded the territory of the sellers who wanted to maximize income. I enabled the seller who wanted flexibility to be able to take that time later in the day, as long as they got their job done, of course. And then those that wanted a promotion, I had them sit in for me when forecast calls happened with senior leadership and I was on vacation. Here's what most sales leaders get wrong. They think that the company's commission system is going to align the goals and ambitions of the sellers with the company's objectives. And that's just not so. In fact, it's a dangerous belief. It puts the company's revenue and the sales leader's career at risk. And most businesses fail due to lack of revenue. If this sounds like you, I would love to have a conversation to see how I can support you and your sales leaders. I have a step-by-step system that will enable your leaders to have the conversations they need to have with their team, and it will take about 15% of their time. And leaders who work with me tell me that they are less stressed, their team is more engaged, and revenue is growing. Let me tell you what happened to my team. My team became more engaged, and they were happier, and many were promoted. And when they were promoted, it enabled me to attract top talent. And of course, we killed it in revenue. I would love to create the same kind of results for you and your team.